Hi, welcome to Module 4. We're going to talk about fonts and colors in HTML. Now, we're going to do some basic HTML with fonts and colors. When you work in industry, or when you move a little bit further, if you're going to do that with HTML, you won't be doing them the way we're going to do them here. This is kind of just a starting point for us. We'll be using style sheets a little bit later on, which is a better way to actually do that. But this will give you a good starting point. They would be boring. These websites would absolutely be boring if we could not change the look and feel. They would be like newspapers. So we want to be able to bring color into our fonts and into blocks and into different areas. We want to make sure that we can add different dimensions to it, both sizes, as well as different font faces. And we'll deal with a lot of that when we deal with style sheets, but this is the first part, as I said, to get you used to this. So now we're going to look at changing the font typeface to something called Arial. To the right, you're going to see the code, and we have our Hello Brave New World. What I do have is another sentence here. This is a better font. What you're going to notice is that this is encapsulated between the tag font and /font, and that means we're going to do something to the font of this sentence. Here, we're going to change the face to Arial. There are different types of fonts that we could use. We could put Verdana, we could use Helvetica, we could use sans serif. But the idea is that we could change the font face and it will actually render a different typeface for this depending on the browser. So you can try that code out on your browser as well. Now what we also might want to do is we might want to change the size. What we'll do here is we'll basically use the size attribute for the font. Again, I'm leaving the face, and you'll notice the quotes there for the font face, but for size, we're just going to have a number from 1 to 7. And here, this is basically going to increase the size. The number could be from 1 to 7, and 1 being the smallest, 3 is actually the default, and 7 being the largest. So you can give this a try as well by changing the font size of that same sentence. Now, if we want to change the color, what we do is we add another attribute called color, and we'll give it the text red or blue. It can be anything that we want. There are a number of colors that are available. If you do a Google search for HTML color codes, you'll see a whole bunch of different colors and their names that are associated with it. But what I'm also going to show you here is how you can actually just manipulate the colors themselves. In the fonts, we have basically 3 types of primary colors: red, green, and blue. And instead of names, we can actually represent them by using numerical values. So if we use numbers, we have to use this pound symbol in front of it. So instead of color equals green, we're going to actually do color equals pound and then 6-digit number. Now you say, well, those are letters, those aren't numbers. Well, these are actually in hexadecimal, and what that means is that each single digit will go from 0 to 15. There's 16 digits. So this can go from 0 to 9, and then when we run out of numbers, we go 9, and then it's the letter A, B, C, D, E, and F. So FF, which actually corresponds to 255, if you look at hexadecimal notation, you'll see that that's what that means. But what this basically does is this says, give me all red. Since the other ones are 0, we're saying no green and no blue. So the first 2 digits are for red, the next 2 digits are for green, the next 2 are for blue. So we turn, FF means turn the color on to its brightest, and 00 means don't turn that color on at all. And so we can have things like 22, or 2F, or 99, or 9F, or AB. As we said, each digit goes from 0 to 15, and then once we get to 9, 0 all the way to 9, we start using A, B, C, D, E, and F, and then after we get to F, we would be done. You couldn't go higher than F on any digit. So some examples of colors: FF0000 is red, 00FF00 is green, 0000FF is blue, and if I turn off all the colors, it's black. If I turn them all on, it's white. And you can do variations. A simple one is to make them all 5s or all 7s so that you can see variations of gray. Again, if you do a Google search for that, you'll also see that you'll see the different color combinations. Try something out and just play around with it and see what you end up with. So now what we're going to do is that takes care of font faces, colors. What I'd like you to do is now create a page called exercises.html. And I'm actually going to be using this file when I want to see all of your assignments. So you're going to place a header at the top called IT30 assignments and exercises. Make sure you have your name underneath it so that I know who you are. We're going to modify this more in the future. Create a table that has 15 rows, 4 columns. Okay, and what we're going to do in the first column, we're going to create a header that says exercise number, title, description, and link. Okay, those would be the top row. And then in each row, you're going to have exercise 1, what it was called, so that might have been Hello World, and don't worry about the exact title, it doesn't really matter, as long as it's something smaller. A full description, and then I want you to put in the name of the file, and then I want you to link to that file. So we're going to use the stuff that we did in Module 3. All of the fonts should be in Arial, and the title of each exercise here should be in size 4, so I want that a little bit bigger. And the descriptions should be in a different color. So every new row, the description will be in a different color. Hopefully you make it something I can read. Please don't make it white on a white background. That won't help me at all. Okay, so if you run into any problems, you can reach me, and I'll help you out with that.